Did you know Mission Impossible almost started without a script? That's right. This blockbuster hit, known for its jaw-dropping stunts and intense action, was initially just a collection of cool scenes without a full story connecting them. Let's dive into how this iconic film was crafted from the ground up, exploring the twists and turns from casting decisions to nail-biting stunts that almost didn't happen. Mission Impossible started off on a risky footing. It began production without a fully fleshed-out script. Director Brian De Palma had envisioned several action scenes, but the overarching story that connected these scenes was still shaky. Screenwriters David Cope and Robert Towne were not satisfied with the initial storyline. Towne eventually took charge of giving the film a basic structure, a beginning, middle, and end, to anchor the action sequences, while De Palma and Cope worked on developing the plot. Now let's talk about one of the most dramatic scenes in the movie. This was actually Tom Cruise's idea. He envisioned a scene set in a glass-walled restaurant with a giant lobster tank and not one, but 3 huge fish tanks overhead, altogether weighing 16 tons. The stakes were high with this one, as there was a real danger from the massive amount of glass that could shatter and fly everywhere once the tanks exploded. Initially, they tried filming this with a stuntman, but it just didn't look right. So, who stepped in? Cruise himself, despite the real risk of getting seriously hurt or even drowning. Imagine how different Mission Impossible could have been if they had played it safe with a less ambitious script, or if Cruise hadn't pushed for such a risky yet visually stunning scene. The film could have ended up being a lot less memorable. But who would have brought Ethan Hunt to life if not Tom Cruise? Let's dive into the surprising casting possibilities that could have changed everything. Imagine a world where George Clooney dangles from a wire, dodging laser security, or maybe Bruce Willis fights off bad guys in a silent, tension-filled CIA headquarters. Sounds intriguing, right? The iconic role of Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible, known worldwide as Tom Cruise's breakout action franchise, could have looked very different. Then there was Bruce Willis, known for his tough guy roles, especially in Die Hard. Willis as Ethan Hunt might have brought a more rugged, no-nonsense style to the character. It definitely would have been grittier. John Travolta was also in the mix. With his comeback in the 90s, adding a spy role could have taken his career in an interesting new direction. Travolta has a way of owning his roles with a lot of charisma, which would have added a unique twist to Ethan Hunt. Other actors like Nicolas Cage, Ralph Fiennes, and Mel Gibson were also considered. Imagine Nicolas Cage with his intense and quirky acting as a spy. Things might have gotten a bit more unpredictable. Ralph Fiennes could have brought a touch of elegance and intelligence, making Ethan a bit more of a thinking man's spy. And Mel Gibson? With his action chops from movies like Braveheart, he might have played Ethan as more of a fearless hero. But when Tom Cruise was cast, the whole character of Ethan Hunt changed. Originally, Ethan was probably going to be more like Clooney, cool and charismatic. But with Cruise, they reworked Ethan to fit his action star image. This meant more stunts, more intense action scenes, and a character that really fit Cruise's go-getter, daredevil reputation. While casting choices had us on the edge of our seats, did you know the film's roots go even deeper? Up next, we explore how the original 60s TV show influenced the movie we love today. Not many people know this, but Mission Impossible, the movie, was originally based on a 60s TV show. The show started in 1966 and was all about a team of spies pulling off secret missions every episode. Martin Landau, one of the stars from the show, said they first planned to bring back the original TV cast for the movie, but there was a catch. They would all be killed off right at the start. Landau really didn't like this idea, so he turned it down, and eventually they dropped the plan altogether. Even though the movie kept some elements from the TV show, it ended up being pretty different. That's something a lot of fans might point out, especially those who loved the old series. Turns out, making the movie different was exactly what director Brian De Palma wanted. To get the film right, the studio hired Reza Badi'i, who directed a ton of episodes from the TV series, hoping he'd bring some of that original magic to the movie. But on the first day of shooting, De Palma told Badi'i that he was going for a new angle and wouldn't need his help. He respected the old show but was ready to take Mission Impossible in a new direction. So what if they had stuck to the original plan? The movie could have had a completely different feel, maybe keeping more of the team dynamics and the clever spy plots from the TV series. Instead, we got a film that focused a lot on action and Tom Cruise's character, which changed the whole vibe. Speaking of changes, the film took a bold twist with one of its central characters. What happened when Jim Phelps, the hero of the TV series, turned into a movie villain? In the original Mission Impossible TV series, Jim Phelps was the hero, played by Robert Graves. He was the leader everyone rooted for, guiding his team through tight spots with a cool head. Graves was so good in the role he stuck with it for nearly the entire series. But when the movie came out, they took a different route. Jon Voight played Phelps, and at first, it seemed like he was the same dependable leader. But then, the movie threw a curveball. Phelps wasn't killed off as it first appeared. He came back as a bad guy. The change made a lot of fans mad. They didn't like seeing their favorite good guy turn into a villain. Because of this big switch, Graves decided not to come back and play Phelps. He didn't want to be part of a movie that flipped his character's legacy upside down. Turning Phelps into the villain was a bold move. It definitely shook things up and made the movie unpredictable. But it also split the fans. Some thought it was a cool twist, while others felt it messed with the character too much. From expected character flips to breathtaking stunts, Mission Impossible kept fans guessing. Let's discover the behind-the-scenes story of one of the film's most iconic scenes. One of the most unforgettable scenes from the first Mission Impossible was when Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, is suspended from the ceiling as he breaks into the CIA vault. It's a tense and thrilling sequence that really stands out, even compared with the wilder stunts Cruise pulled off in the later films. What's particularly gripping is the part where Hunt almost hits the vault floor when his rope slips, but he's caught just in time, inches from disaster. During filming, Cruise actually had a tough time with this stunt because he kept bumping his head on the floor each time the rope caught him. To fix this, he came up with a clever solution: putting coins in his shoes. This bit of quick thinking helped him balance better while hanging in the air, making the stunt work perfectly for the shot. This scene is a classic now, but imagine how different the film might have been if they hadn't managed to pull it off. Maybe they would have had to cut it entirely or change the story so Hunt doesn't pull off such a daring heist. The ceiling stunt might have left audiences in awe, but it's not just the visuals that set the pulse racing. The music of Mission Impossible plays a huge role in setting the film's thrilling vibe, and it comes with its own drama behind the scenes. The film originally used Lalo Schifrin's classic theme from Mission Impossible from the 1960s TV show, but there was quite the shuffle when it came to the rest of the score. Originally, Alan Silvestri, known for his big film scores, was hired to create the music for the movie. He worked hard and produced about 20 minutes of music. But here's the twist. Tom Cruise, who was not just the star but also the producer, decided Silvestri's music wasn't quite what the film needed. So they brought in Danny Elfman, a composer known for his unique and dramatic scores. With only a few weeks to go, Elfman had to come up with something fast. He managed to mix some of Schifrin's original themes with his own new pieces, creating a fresh yet familiar sound for characters like Ethan Hunt and Claire. Meanwhile, U2's Larry Mullen Jr. and Adam Clayton were big fans of the original series and got the chance to remix the famous theme song. Clayton worked on his remix in New York, and Mullen did his in Dublin, fitting it in around U2's recording sessions. They were both inspired by the electronic and dance sounds they were exploring with producer Brian Eno at the time. When they finished, they couldn't decide which version was better, so they ended up releasing both, along with 5 more remixes by DJs. This special mix of the theme song became a hit, climbing music charts all over the world. It's really interesting to think about how the music choices could have steered the movie in a different direction. Danny Elfman's dramatic touch and the modern spin on the theme song added a lot to the film's unique identity. If things had gone differently with the music, Mission Impossible might have had a completely different feel, perhaps not becoming the classic action thriller it is today. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes movie content. Stay tuned for more exciting insights and untold stories, and we'll see you in the next one!